Putin is mad. He's scared. And like usual, he's running to China to beg for help. You see, Ukraine just carried out an attack so close to Putin's bunker that his paranoia has now reached a new height. Ever since he launched this senseless invasion, Putin has removed air defenses from across Russia and placed them only around himself and his palaces. Well, it seems even that's not enough. Putin no longer feels safe because Ukraine just delivered a devastating blow to one of his favorite palaces. And that was exactly Ukraine's goal, making sure Putin feels vulnerable everywhere. This attack came just days before Putin was supposed to attend a major summit in China, where he was expected to meet with multiple world leaders. But instead of projecting strength, Putin arrived rattled and paranoid. To make matters worse, when he landed in China, the CCP did not give him the same warm welcome it gave to other leaders. Let's start with why Putin is so paranoid. General Ben Hodges explained this months ago. Ukraine's strategy is to make sure no one in Russia's chain of command ever feels safe, whether they are on the front lines in Moscow or even in Putin's palaces. Ukraine's intelligence agency, the GUR, operates much like the Mossad, and Russian officials know it. Senior officers and even civilian leaders responsible for war crimes will spend the rest of their lives looking over their shoulders. Recently, Ukraine sent this message directly to Putin using drones. According to reports, Ukrainian drone strikes sparked a massive forest fire just a mile from Putin's $1.5 billion palace on the Black Sea, known as Putin's Palace. Russian officials, as always, denied it was Ukraine and claimed it was caused by drones they shot down. But independent Russian investigators confirmed the fire reached dangerously close to the palace. This is the same palace that opposition leader Alexei Navalny exposed in a viral YouTube video, which is why Putin had him jailed and later killed. Ironically, Putin himself has barely been able to use this palace since launching the invasion because Ukraine's drones constantly threaten the area. And keep in mind, this is just one of 6 luxury palaces he owns across Russia. But Putin didn't have time to dwell on the attack. He had to rush to China to beg for drones and support. Still, he found time to retaliate the way Russia always does, by striking Ukrainian civilians. Russia launched massive overnight strikes on 14 regions of Ukraine, firing 540 drones and 45 missiles. At least 23 civilians, including 4 children, were killed, and dozens more were injured. Russia even targeted the EU embassy in Kyiv. The Kremlin's message was clear. It rejects Western security guarantees for Ukraine. In fact, Russia insists that only Moscow should provide such guarantees, laughably claiming they protected Ukrainian sovereignty for the past 3 years. Meanwhile, the UN has again placed Russia on its shame list for crimes against children in war zones. Now let's shift back to China. When Putin landed for the big summit, the contrast in receptions was humiliating. Leaders like Azerbaijan's Ilham Aliyev and Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan were greeted with full military honors, warmth, and respect. Xi Jinping personally rolled out the red carpet for them. But when Putin arrived, there were no guards of honor, no warmth, no special ceremony, just cold, formal protocol. The message was clear. China doesn't see Putin as an equal partner, but rather a desperate, temporary guest. This humiliation was obvious to everyone, and it shows how isolated Putin has become on the world stage. Still, we'll be watching closely to see what comes out of this summit, where leaders from Turkey, India, and others are also attending. Meanwhile, new reports have emerged about a peace plan being floated by Donald Trump. According to The Telegraph, Trump is discussing deploying private military contractors, not U.S. soldiers, to Ukraine as part of a long-term peace strategy. The plan would establish a 20-kilometer demilitarized buffer zone, with Ukrainian forces on the front lines and U.S.-backed contractors providing support from behind. Trump's plan also includes long-term military and economic agreements, such as Ukraine committing to buying $90 billion worth of U.S. weapons after the war, and ensuring rare earth mineral deals that give the U.S. a vested interest in Ukraine's security. The idea is to strengthen Ukraine so that Russia never dares to invade again. European allies like the UK and France would lead a coalition of the willing, handling air patrols and training missions, while NATO generals would oversee operations. The goal is to avoid direct escalation with Russia, while ensuring Ukraine is fully protected. Still, doubts remain. European leaders like Macron have dealt with Putin before, and Donald T. believe he can be trusted to honor any agreement. But the message is clear. Russia will never accept peace until it feels genuine strength from the West. And with Ukraine's drone strikes even reaching Putin's palaces, that strength is becoming harder for him to ignore. And before we wrap up, a quick note. Just as AI is reshaping the future of jobs and industries, Ukraine's drones are reshaping the future of war. According to Rutgers University, 7 in 10 American workers are worried about AI, with nearly half fearing job losses by the 2030s. Similarly, Russia's military elite now live in fear of Ukrainian drones. Both stories point to the same lesson. If you don't prepare for the future, you risk becoming a victim of it. That's why I recently made another video breaking down how normal people, not tech experts, are using AI to secure their careers and build safer futures. If you're curious or worried about where this is all headed, check the link in the description.